Hello, and you are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 217 for Sunday, the 8th of July, 2018.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, my lovely old Jayne.
Hello there, Michelle. How are you, my darling?
I'm good. It's been a while since the two of us have pulled up a cosy old chat in front of the microphone.
I know, this blooming life malarkey gets in the way, doesn't it?
It does indeed. You're free, then I'm not free. I'm free, you're not free. It's just, yeah.
And then add in the hot weather that the UK is getting through at the moment. It just kind of sends everything to pot, doesn't it?
90 degrees my thermostat was hitting today. I was like melting. And all our Americans are saying, 90? That's nothing. Yeah. Bear in mind, we don't have air conditioning.
I know, I must admit, I've just seen one of my friends have put a Facebook post up saying the UK does not have aircon. Please think of us. We don't know how to survive in this weather, do we? We can't cope if it snows. We've got no facilities for if it snows. And on the other end of the spectrum, if it's hot like it is now, we can't cope with that either. We're just rubbish, really.
I know. All the roads are melting because the tarmac's not made for this temperature.
I know. I'd even got a grass fire near me as well.
Oh my word. I know there's quite a few bushfires in the area over by me, and it's quite a concern. You know, normally I hear about this from Tommy, and I'm now telling him about it over here.
Tables have turned.
They have indeed. And the good news is that we're now on the 8th of July. I have literally got days to go to summer. I have got 17 days until we break up on the 25th.
Oh, that means then, Michelle, if you've got 17 days, I've got 14, because I break up before you.
Lucky Jayne. It was because I had those 2 occasional days, wasn't it, earlier on in June?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about educational holidays and all this malarkey. We're here to do a Disney podcast.
We are, supposedly, yeah.
I'm hoping on this show we are going to entertain you with the delightful new offerings Disney are tantalising our travel buds on to make us go and book a trip. But before we get into that, let's put on This Week in Disney History. Here comes Karen.
Hello and welcome to this episode. On the 9th of July 1931, Pluto was first introduced to the Mickey Mouse newspaper comic strip. It is also a sad day because in 2002, Ward Kimball died. Ward was one of Disney's 9 old men who was called a genius by Walt Disney. He won 2 Academy Awards for Best Animated Short Film. Away from this, he was a railroad enthusiast as well as a talented jazz trombonist. On to the 10th of July, and in 1941, Ferdinand Jelly Roll Morton died at the age of 55. Walt Disney World fans might think the name rings a bell. Well, Ferdinand was a pioneering ragtime and jazz pianist, and Jelly Rolls at Disney's Boardwalk area is named in tribute to him. Also on this day, a celebration. Paul Shearer, who at the time was a Disney College Program cast member, but also a former US soldier who was honoured for his bravery following the saving of a child who had fallen into the marina at Port Orleans Riverside Resort. Moving onward to the 12th of July in 1961, the first draft of a screenplay is completed for the film Mary Poppins. Last entry for this week, on the 13th of July 1924, Walt Disney married Lillian Marie Bounds in Lewiston, Idaho. And that's it for this segment. I'll see you next time.
Thank you for all of that, Kieran. Now, most important thing on the show this week, Jayne. Any ideas what it could be about?
If I had to hazard a guess, I might say food.
Nope.
Oh, right. I don't know then. Toy Story Land.
Nope.
Okay. I'm struggling now.
The new Starbucks mug that has been released in Disneyland.
I should have realised, Michelle. Sorry, how remiss of me not to pick up on the fact there was a new Starbucks mug out.
It's not just a new mug. It is
Okay.
the ultimate of Disney mugs. Because if you are a Disney New Orleans Square fan, you love a little bit of Mansion, you love a little bit of Pirates, this is the mug you want to be drinking your morning brew from. It is amazing. The internal of the cup is that lovely, plummy, rich colour, and then it's got the Mansion on, it's got Pirates on, it's got the gates, it's got gravestones, it's got a cute little dog, much cuter than the one in Pirates of the Caribbean, I may add, and it's got the sails of the pirate ship. It's the ultimate cup. You know, it's even got the sailing ship Columbia floating along with the Jolly Roger flying from it.
I have to admit, Michelle, I have looked at this mug. I mean, I'm not the collector that you are. In fact, I have no Starbucks mugs because I don't want to go down that slippery route. But I have to say, this does look rather nice.
Yeah, and can I just advise everyone, before you're thinking about starting collecting these mugs, don't. Seriously.
Or make sure you've got a lot of space.
And a lot of patience, because they've released the 2 ones for Disneyland Paris, which I haven't been able to get my hands on yet. Then they've released this one. Tommy, bless him, has got 2 of these cups already stored up for me over in California. Somehow he's got to get them to me. So, yeah, best $17 you could possibly spend is on a new mug. And that is the highlight of this week in Disney News.
Well, there's worse things that could have been a highlight of.
True. I suppose we'll have to go and talk a little bit about Toy Story Land, Jayne.
Do you want to?
I think we should.
Do you think we ought to?
I do, yeah. And to be honest, I know our show's coming out like a week post-release, and everyone will be sick and tired of hearing about this land. So I think we can look at it at a different perspective from what other podcasts would probably do, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so let's just summarise for those of you who've been hiding under a rock and don't know. Toy Story Land is now officially open. You have got a new entrance to Toy Story Midway Mania. You have got Slinky Dog Dash, and you have got Alien Saucer Spin. I hope I've got those 3 right.
Yes.
And along the way, there's a couple of kiosks where you can buy sort of merchandise, and there is a set of themed quick service locations which you can, hopefully I believe now, use your mobile app to order the food. Oh,
right, okay.
And there's of course, every new land, first thing it needs a new wall for Instagram.
I'm getting a bit bored of these walls.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what worries me, I don't know about you, love, but whenever I've had a nice lolly in the past, there's always been a splintery bit because I've chewed it a bit too much. I'm just worried about sitting on these lollipop stick seats that I'll get a splinter in my bum.
Well, you have to be careful, Michelle. Look where you're sitting.
Exactly. But it does look beautiful. It's incredibly well themed. It's the same sort of thing, I suppose, you get when you go in on the Ratatouille attraction in Disneyland Paris, where you're shrinking yourself down.
Yes, yeah. The thematics very much reminded me of that area over at Disneyland Paris, but obviously on a more prevalent, bigger scale, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, you'll never guess... Baby Bell are sponsoring elements of this land. With looking at the menu, there's a lot of Baby Bell on it.
Yes, I had noticed that. I wondered why that was, where that had crept in from.
Yeah. For breakfast, of course, and any other meal, you can pick up 3 Baby Bell mini snack cheeses for $3.49, which is a bit pricey, but I suppose you can have one and share them between 3 people.
Yeah, but you're not getting a lot for your money there, are you, to be fair?
True. They do offer a breakfast menu, so you can have a raspberry lunchbox tart, or a chocolate hazelnut lunchbox tart. So it's kind of a play on your sort of Pop-Tart type of thing. So very sugary rich, very pastry driven. Or then there's all the entrees. So there's a small French toast sandwich, which does sound interesting. But it's $8, and I'd say that's something that you'd probably want to share because it sounds very, very rich. You know, it's got the marshmallow, chocolate ganache, It's got the grilled custard-soaked brioche.
It's setting my teeth on edge, all that sugar.
Yeah, it's a smoked turkey breakfast sandwich. And there's a breakfast bowl. And I gather the breakfast bowl, you know those little potato barrels, which our American audience will be screaming at saying, Michelle, they're not barrels, they're tater tots.
Yes, that we don't have over here.
We don't have over here.
No.
Well, we do now, but you get them and it's sort of like covered in brisket and country gravy and scrambled eggs and green onions. And I suppose this is a very typical kind of American fast foody type combo of foods. But I'm feeling for us Brits, this isn't, I don't know, it's not grabbing me.
No, me either. I'm kind of struggling, particularly with those breakfasty items. It's not calling to me, Michelle.
And, you know, just like at breakfast, at lunch and dinner, you can get those box tarts again. Now, they have got a few offerings that are intriguing to me. And they have brought over a Monte Cristo. And we all know how much I rave about the Monte Cristo in Disneyland. And from what I've seen, it's similar.
Yes.
But not as heavy. I think it's a lot lighter dish. It's got the smoked turkey, it's got the ham, it's got the raspberry sort of like, they've called it a marmalade. Dijon mustard, melted Swiss cheese, on grilled custard soaked brioche. So I think the menu has definitely been tweaked. And it's nice that you're getting a taste of the flavours, but presented in a different way.
Yes, and I'm assuming it's probably cheaper than over at Disneyland, is it? Because it's not quite the same, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about half the price. So I'm hoping our good friend Stephen Klemowski will order it and I'll be able to have a little taste and see what I think. But yeah, there's a couple of sandwiches. There's nothing here, though, that screams to me carb-free.
I have to admit, Michelle, us being as we are sort of thing, that I do look down any menu nowadays and have a look. And yeah, that was the first thing that struck me, that there was no real healthy option at all.
Yeah. Well, even the salad's got macaroni chucked in it.
It was like...
And olives.
It's like, it's like, I must admit, I looked and thought, well, I'd have the cheeses. It's not going to keep me going for very long, though, is it?
No, not really. I'd be ordering a lot of baby bells at that price.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, I suppose, in nowadays that there isn't a vaster choice of options. I suppose with it being like the lunchbox, it is the typical sandwichy based lunch that they're going for. But yeah, it does say sandwiches and more. It'd be nice to think that the more covered another few options.
More, yeah. But as you say, it is Woody's lunchbox. It is obviously open, and these are the offerings that you would find in a traditional American lunchbox. So it does what it says on the tin. Yeah,
I think obviously it's a very fun, playful sort of land, isn't it?
The only thing that did come into my mind was using the idea that they had got over from Paris with Cher Ami and doing a restaurant where everything inside the restaurant was like toy-based.
Ah, right, yes, you could do that. Yeah, so again, you'd be shrunk down sort of thing.
Yeah, and then have the food that you'd probably have at a traditional American sort of like TV dinner type thing.
Yeah, I suppose is that kind of eating into the sci-fi diner? I don't know. It's just...
No, because I think the sci-fi diner is more of your burgery type and meals away. I'm talking about, a little bit of meat with a bit of gravy, mashed potatoes, some veggies, that sort of thing, that sort of came presented on, like, I call them prison trays, but you know what I mean?
Yes, TV trays, yes, yeah.
I know they've done that kind of menu very successfully over in Disneyland for their sort of Pixar Pier, and I think that would work really well, and it's, I wouldn't quite call it table service, but I wouldn't call it counter service. I think it's somewhere in between, and a price point of about $15 to $20 for a meal, a drink, and a dessert on a tray. I can see that working, and I think the theming people will go nuts for, to have somewhere where they can sit down and enjoy the theming a little bit more.
Almost like a plussed up cafeteria type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was just an idea about that. I can't wait to get the attractions tried out. I have heard a lot of people giving such praise to the saucer spin attraction. comparing it to Mater's Junkyard Jamboree and, saying that you've got to get snuggled up to your person you're on the attraction with because there's a little bit of whipping action rather than the spinning action.
Right.
It looks fun.
It does look fun, yes.
I'm so excited.
And you'll get to see it in a few weeks.
I will indeed. I think my jury's out on Slinky Dog because from what I've read and what I've seen, it's been likened to me as a tamer version of Seven Dwarfs. And Seven Dwarfs is kind of tame.
Oh, okay.
It's a family addition to the park rather than a thrill addition to the park. And it never said on the tin it was going to be a thrill addition. It's always been the family edition. And I think it gives a nice balance to Hollywood Studios when you bear in mind, you've got the more extreme attractions, the thrill attractions of Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror. So it's nice to give some balance so that families with younger children can actually have some meat to their day there.
Yeah, I must admit, that was always the impression that I got, that this was a family coaster. And I was kind of thinking Goofy's Barnstormer, that sort of level of ferocity or however you want to phrase it. But and it needs to be, it's toys, isn't it? You're aiming it at the younger end of the market, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think the adults there can appreciate it on another level with the appreciation of all the nostalgia of all the things that they're seen as the wandering around and the enjoyment and the fun factor of the attractions. Yeah,
and besides, it'd be probably a roller coaster that I'll really enjoy.
Well, yeah, it's probably been designed just for you, Jayne. It's at your level.
But us scaredy cats. Yeah, I know my level. I accept it. That's fine by me.
Yeah. And, of course, people are comparing the weights between that and Pandora. It's opening day weekend. It's going to have weights. I can foresee throughout the summer it hitting its sweet spot of about a 2.5 hour sort of wait without Fast Pass.
Yeah. Choose your Fast Passes wisely.
Yeah, and that's what they've done with the Fast Passes here. You can only get one of the Toy Story attraction Fast Passes.
Yeah, makes sense.
So if you're wanting to get all three with Fast Passes, you have to go on 3 different days.
Yeah.
I've just missed out Toy Story Midway Mania with a Fast Pass. I'm not, I'll queue for that.
Yeah, well, I think it's a case of you want to experience the new stuff, don't you, over and above everything else. So it's stuff you've done before. You leave that to chance on the standby line, don't you?
Absolutely. Let's pop over to Disneyland, Jayne, because over there, Pixar Pier has been revving up.
Yeah.
And that's opened. We've got lots of content coming through from our lovely friend Thomas Allison over at the Cruise Dudes with the wonderful Incredicoaster.
Yes, it looks really cool, actually, doesn't it?
I'm so excited. It looks so beautifully themed. And at night, oh my word, the colours just pop and the lighting. It looks fab.
Yeah.
Now, there's all sorts of different places you can go and have things to eat. And it seems to me the theming that they've used is very similar here to Toy Story Land with their counter service sort of fun meal type offerings. Would you agree?
Yes. It is kind of very Pixar-y, very Toy Story-esque in its vibe, yeah.
And I think they've outdone themselves with the theme in here because there's a little bit of something for everyone. So if you want something cold and frozen, well, you've got the adorable snowman frozen treats with the lemony taste. And I must admit, that on a hot day will be so refreshing. Oh, yeah,
I love a bit like a frozen lemony something or other. Yeah, very nice.
Absolutely. And it's nice that California has a citrusy version of a really cool snack, whereas Walt Disney World has got the orangey citrusy version. So we've got lemon and oranges. We might just have to have a battle off between the citrus fruits. Who's going to be having the grapefruit? Oh, too late. Hollywood Studios has got a grapefruit cake. You see, it all starts meshing together. Our friend Tommy went last weekend and he went to the Jack Jack Cookie Num Nums and he was nummilicious over this cookie. He said it was warm, it was soft, it was gone in seconds.
Yes, I did see the photos. It did look rather scrummy.
Yeah, there's the Incredi cookie. Lots of churros. There's a cinnamony one and a caliente churro, which I'm not familiar with, so apologies on that one.
Yeah, me neither.
And there's a very angry dog. Well, the description is your choice is you can have a slightly annoyed dog or you can have an angry dog served with hot fries.
I'm trying to picture what that might look like in my head now.
Yeah, slightly annoyed dog and an angry dog. And hot fries opposed to what? Cold fries? Or is it spicy? I'm imagining it's spicy.
I'm imagining so, yeah.
Yeah. Not open as yet is Bing Bong Sweet Stuff. That's opening up shortly. And there's all sorts of fudge and cake pops, all from the different Pixar films that we know and love. And I can see that going down really well. And they look so colourful.
It was a nice theming going on there, I'd imagine.
I know. I so want to have the Doug cake pop because it looks so cute. And it's just like, I don't want to bite into it. But then there's the Russell one as well. And it's got his little badges wrapped around him. Oh, he's so cute.
It's a grape soda one as well.
I know. I have heard the grape soda one, it is available in other parts of the park, is incredibly sweet.
Ah, okay.
There's one place that I haven't as yet mentioned. And that's the Poultry Palace.
Yes.
Now, when I say poultry, I don't mean it's a small place, but it is a small place. It's poultry as in...
Yes, it is what they are serving is what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can get a chicken drumstick box, which is you know, if you're a protein-aholic, you know, getting a few pieces of chicken, little bit of coleslaw is a nice alternative, and I do like that they're offering this. I have heard mixed reviews from a few people saying it needs a little bit of a development on the recipe.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and obviously they've got the ubiquitous love it or loathe it turkey leg.
And move along, yes.
Yeah. Corn on the cob.
Okay.
And chips, which obviously us Brits are imagining big, thick steak chips, but they're not the crisps.
They're crisps, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that one takes off and whether they do sort of think about the chicken. Because I know I was reading a review on WDW News today about the chicken. And I saw the pictures of it, and the chicken itself looked good. You know, 3 pieces of chicken. It comes in like a really cute Poultry Palace box. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's very cool, yeah.
And the chicken itself looks like, you know, 3 reasonable pieces of chicken. Lightly breadcrumbed. And I don't know, it just looked to me that this breadcrumb chicken had been in a few fights.
A little bit bashed about.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of a spice on it, I gather, as well.
Okay.
But there is a massive food guide that you can go and have a look at on WDW News today, and it shares with you the menus that you can pick up, lots of info. So, yeah, I would love to go over and see Pixar Pier, but haven't got a trip scheduled, so it won't be happening anytime soon.
Yeah, but it's nice to see, you know, all this Pixar stuff happening and recognising that element of the whole Disney franchise.
Absolutely. That's basically it for what's going on in the world of Disney at the moment. If you are going there over the next few weeks, why don't you let us know what you think to these experiences? Drop us some pictures, your review. We'll happily share it on the podcast page on Facebook, and we'll air your views on the podcast as well. Now, Jayne, we alluded at the beginning of the show about me having a trip booked.
Have you got a trip booked, Michelle?
I know I've been very quiet about this, haven't I?
Have you?
No. Jayne, it's getting so close that the excitement is palpable. It's just a month away.
Well, I must admit, I think you put up one of those lovely little countdown things the other day, and it was like, crikey, is it that? It kind of surprised me, because obviously it's been not a long time in the coming, but it's like, crikey, when did we get that close to this holiday, you know?
I know, it's just flown. It really, really has. And, you know, about once a month I've been sort of chatting via Skype to Kat and Lewis, and we had a little chat the other weekend. It was like, crikey, have you seen the countdown? It's getting so much smaller. But thankfully, you know, customer pressure has obviously worked with Disney, because on the Disney Cruise Line app, they had a cute little suitcase with a ticker counter that counted you down to your days, to your trip. And it was so cute. And then they removed it and put something nondescript and very bland.
I remember that, yeah.
Well, on the latest update, they've updated it, and oh my word, it is amazing.
So what they got now?
Well, it changes every time you go onto the app.
Ah.
You get different characters. At the moment, I've got Minnie Mouse and Captain America for the numbers 4 and 5. And then I've got on the other numbers, I've got where there's no hours, I've got Tiana. And then I have got Mickey Mouse on. And it's just so cute.
Oh,
and
nice, yeah.
There's a little Mickey ship on the sea underneath with the 2 funnels and hidden Mickeys on. It's just so cute. And it's these little details that really get me excited as I start to count down.
Yeah, well, and again, it's all part and parcel of the build-up to it, isn't it? It's having those little fun things like that.
Yeah, so what I thought I'd do today is just share some things that I'm sort of working on at the moment with regards to the trip.
Right.
To sort of like, if anyone else is planning a trip at this sort of time, that they can sort of, think, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll steal that idea from Michelle. Or, oh, I never thought of that. So the other day, it was Fast Pass time.
Yes.
And, oh my, Disney did a trick on us.
Why?
I'll paint a scene, Jane.
Okay.
Our lovely travel agent, Christine Sir, who's part of MEI Mouse Fan, gave us the date where we could get our second lot of fast passes for the attractions. And we had it all ready to go and all planned out that I would get them over my lunch break at work because the ADR time opened at 11 and my lunch break started at 11:30. So I thought, well, for half an hour, it's fine. And I had the app on my phone, I had the list. The day before, the Monday, Kat messages me. I've just been on the Disney My Experience app, and they've only gone and opened up Fast Passes a day early.
Cheeky.
Very sneaky. So what my number one top tip is, just because it says your Fast Pass is open on a particular date, don't believe them.
No.
Try a couple of days before.
Yeah.
That really upset us because we're like, we weren't ready.
Well, yeah, and if you, especially when you've got people across the world, as you have this time around, Michelle, all trying to coordinate as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's me in England, there's Stephen in Canada, Kat and Lewis over in Australia, and we're trying to get the same attraction fast passes as each other.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was one top tip. And then at the weekend, we got all the fast passes booked, and then at the weekend, Kat was looking on at, and they'd released a whole new set of Flight of Passage fast passes that wasn't available earlier in the week.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping you took advantage of them, did you?
Well, I totally did, yeah. But I'm just advising people, once you've got your times locked in, don't be afraid to go back and rebook and tweak things around to make sure you get the ultimate times that suits you.
Yeah, so don't just assume, isn't it? Just keep jumping on every now and then and check. You might find you benefit.
Yeah. Now, the strategy I had is I had days penciled in for the days I wanted for the third and final week of the trip. But because I was booking these fast passes on the hoof in my lunch break at work, I just basically booked a Flight of Passage for every day I could get it for that last week. I didn't have time to work through each day by day, because I only literally had 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I booked literally Flight of Passage. I think I was able to get 4 fast passes over that period of a week. Some days had gone already.
Crikey, yeah. So you need to take advantage of it when you can.
Yeah. So I booked it in, got home, worked out the others, deleted a few, tweaked around a few things, and then, as I say, at the weekend, I modified things a little bit more just to make things work. And I must admit, I was quite surprised that, there was still quite a lot of ADRs available for restaurants when I was changing things around. Places like Cali Grill and Ohana.
Oh, wow, yeah. I mean, obviously, you expect some restaurants to always have availability, but certain ones, like the ones you just mentioned, you'd expect to be on the scarce side.
Yeah. So I don't know whether people are sort of moving away from paying for these expensive experiences and going for counter service or going off-site because the cost of going to Disney is getting so expensive that people are not wanting to spend $80 for a dinner.
It is a hard one to justify, Michelle. I mean, that's always been an issue for us when we've gone over. It is that thing of, do I want to spend, as you say, $80 on something that I might actually be able to spend on T-shirts or jewellery or,
True.
So there's that element to take into consideration as well. Would you rather personally, for me, I'd rather be able to bring something back with me as a memento of that vacation than spend it on food that's done and dusted.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have the memories of chomping it down and the extra excess weight that I bring back off the old holiday room.
Wow, yeah.
But we did come across a little bit of a dilemma, and I wondered what your viewpoint on this was.
Oh, okay.
The first week of our trip, there's the first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and we decided not to book it.
Right.
We booked a ADR instead for California Grill.
Right, okay.
Because we thought, well, we can have a nice dinner, relax before the cruise, and then we can stroll out to the viewing area, and from the Contemporary we can see Mickey's Not So Scary's firework presentation, Hallowishes.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Yeah.
So I got this ADR weeks back for 7:15. They've just released the firework time. It's 10:15. Yeah, it's like, well, I know I can eat slow, but 3 hours is taking the mick a bit.
3 hours slow, yeah.
So then I had a look and I found that there was another ADR available, but this one's available at 9:45. So I was thinking, well, I'd just get sat down, I'd order, and my food would turn up as I was wanting to go outside.
So you either got to speed eat or slow eat.
Yeah. Well, there's no way I'd get my food before 10:15.
No.
It would arrive, and I've seen them bring food and leave it on tables when people have been not there. So my worry would be, even if I say to them, can you not bring the food after 10:15 until like 10:30?
Yeah.
I do know the kitchen does shut at a certain point.
Yeah. So there's danger you get back to cold food, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you're paying sort of like $40 for an entree, you don't want to be doing that.
No, not really.
So, I don't know. What do you think? Do I go for the earlier one, leave Cali Grill, and then go back in time to watch the fireworks, which you are entitled to do, providing you have your receipt? Or do I just stay at Cali Grill and eat really, really slowly? I don't know. Have you any ideas for me, Jayne?
Well, I suppose it just depends on how fast their service is likely to be, isn't it? Because you've got to factor that into the evening's proceedings. But I would have thought that even if the service was steady, shall we say, 3 hours is going to be a lot of time to kill.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a case of eat, have a wander, and come back again.
Do you know what? I think you're right. And do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we get on the monorail and go to Trader Sam's or to the Poly and then get the monorail all the way back.
Well, I was just going to say, there's a bit of monorail hopping springs to mind. Or the other alternative, of course, is there's a little bit of shopping.
Well, true. There are some very nice shops in the Contemporary that you can sort of spend, but 3 hours?
Yeah, perhaps not.
The lounge at the Contemporary isn't as amazing as the other ones.
No, I was going to say, it's. I think you would have to definitely jump on a monorail to get a bit of lounge time if that's what you wanted to do. I think it's a case of eat early, see what the time is when you've finished eating, and then juggle from there whether you choose to stay within the confines of the Contemporary and say do a bit of shopping or whatever. Otherwise, I think it's a case of the monorail goes around relatively, sharpish and often enough to be able to jump on and say Trader Sam's sounds quite a nice little beverage option, shall we say, in between.
Okay, Jayne, well, thank you for that, and I'm sure in the upcoming weeks we will chat a little bit more with regards to what I am going to be up to. But if you are in Florida over the period of 12th of August through the 1st of September and you fancy saying hi, please drop us a message. You can email info@DisneyDreamGirls. You can message us via our Facebook page, which is just so simple to find. Disney Dream Girls into your old search bar and you'll find us. Give us a like and just message me. It'd be so cool to meet up with some fellow Disney fans while I'm there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to wrap up this show for this week. I would like to say a big thank you to everybody who's been commenting on the posts we've been sharing. I am feeling so loved at the moment that we have so many amazing people who are sharing their Disney with us. So thank you for doing that. But Jayne, until next week, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.